Why go on one holiday when you can go on 3? Good morning guys, and welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to be sharing some of our tips and hints about planning your Florida trip. It's going to be mainly focused on split stays and transportation. So bear with me, I know it's not something that you thought you'd want to know about, but believe me, you do. We've been lucky enough to go to Florida many times. We've stayed in Walt Disney World, we've stayed in Universal, we've stayed off-site. Best way to go to Florida is to combine all these trips into one. So you want to go to the Disney parks, you want to go to the Universal parks, maybe you want to do SeaWorld, Discovery Cove, or Aquatica, and you want to go to all these places and you're not sure where to stay. So coming from Britain, a typical holiday, you would book one hotel and you would stay there for 14 nights and you would travel to and from your hotel to get to all these different places. So if you stay in Disney World, you need transportation to Universal. If you stay in Universal, you need transportation to Walt Disney World and SeaWorld and wherever else you want to travel to. What we have found from going, the best way to do it is to move. So you have a few different options with the transportation. You can hire a car, you can get Ubers, there's buses. If you want to hire a car, then you've got the expense of the car hire, and in most of the places, well, pretty much everywhere to be honest, you've got parking charges. So the parking charges are around about $20–25 per day. So to get to and from Walt Disney World to Universal Studios by Uber, it'll cost you around about $25 one way and $35 the other way. So $60 every time you travel to and from these places. So say now if you're going 4 days in Universal Studios because you want to go to Volcano Bay, Islands of Adventure, Universal Studios and the new Epic Universe, and you have to pay $60 every day to travel back on them, then that is $240. So what we do is use that $240 towards a hotel. So we'll have a hotel in Disney World and then we'll have a different hotel in Universal Studios. So not only does that save you on the transportation costs, but you're also there where you want to be. So you're experiencing different hotels, different food courts, different swimming pools. So just with those two, you've got 2 mini holidays back to back. So let me show you how to book a typical Disney holiday. If you're staying in a Disney World hotel, then you can also get free access, complimentary access into one of the water parks, Typhoon Lagoon or Blizzard Beach, on your check-in day at the Disney hotel. So bearing that in mind, if you're travelling from the UK, book your hotel for the day that you arrive at Flamingo Crossing. So Flamingo Crossing is an off-site hotel. It's an area just outside of Disney World, which the whole of that area has been endorsed by Disney. It's where the college program students stay, for example. And in that area, you've got things like a Walgreens, you've got a Wendy's, you've got a Target. So there's like quite a few things in that area, which is all walking distance to the hotels. So if you're coming from the UK, then book one of the hotels in Flamingo Crossing, which is quite cheap for you to stay there. It includes breakfast the following day. And when I say cheap, you're looking at paying between $80 and $100 for one night. So we've stayed there before now with 4 of us, and that includes breakfast for like $80. So you break that down, that's like $20 a head. From the UK, you don't tend to get to Orlando till around about tea time, 5–6 o'clock at night. If you went straight from the airport to stay in a Walt Disney World hotel, then you can't make use of the complimentary access into the water park because the water park is shut by the time you get there. So by booking Flamingo Crossing, the night of your stay, all you've really got time for is sit by the pool for a little while, go out and have a meal, maybe do some shopping in Target. So that's why we tend to like to go there then. We don't unpack anything, so we have like maybe an overnight bag where we would put swimming things in, change of clothes, change of underwear, something like that. Basically that you don't need to unpack all your big cases. So the day that we arrive, we would go to Target, stock up on some breakfast items and bits and pieces, alcohol, snacks, things like that for our trip. And then we would just stay in one of the off-site hotels, which they are perfectly lovely. They're endorsed by Disney, so you get like Mickey waffles for breakfast and things like that. So that's a nice like little treat as well. And then the following day, so you check into a Disney resort. Check-in wouldn't be till later in the afternoon, but you can leave all your luggage with Bell Services and go off and enjoy wherever you want to go, whether that be Magic Kingdom or to one of the water parks, and then check in properly, go back to your room then after you've enjoyed your day at Disney. So if you stay at Disney for a few days then and do all of the Disney parks, Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, so make use of your time at Disney. Then if you want to go to Universal Studios, then you check out of your Disney hotel and book a Universal hotel and stay there then for a few days. So that way then you would avoid all of your Uber costs and put the money that you would be spending on Ubers or your car hire. Like I said, you would have to pay parking every day no matter where you decide to park. So the costs for that then put towards your hotel. Then when you've finished at Universal Studios, then you go back to the Disney resorts, pick a different Disney resort and stay there then for the remainder of our holiday. So by doing it that way, you're experiencing 3 or 4 different hotels. Your room is nice and clean every time you check into another hotel. So it's like having 3 mini holidays in one 2-week holiday. And I can't stress how much fun that is. And the beauty about these split stays is that you can leave as much of your luggage behind that you want to and go off to Universal for a few days and ask them in Disney if they will transport your luggage to the hotel that you want to stay to at the end. I'll give you an example. So that you want to go to the Polynesian, so spend the first few days of your holiday in the Polynesian resort. Then you're going to Stella Nova in Universal for a few days, but while you're at Stella Nova, you don't want your Disney clothes. You don't want your Mickey ears because you'll stick out like a sore thumb. So you can leave all your Disney clothes in suitcases at Bell Services at the Polynesian where you're checking out and say, I'm going over to the Animal Kingdom Lodge in a few days' time. Do you mind transporting our luggage over to there? So they will happily do that for you. And then you check into the Animal Kingdom Lodge and all your luggage is there waiting for you on your return to Disney. So that's fantastic. As with anything though, there are some drawbacks to doing split stays. And one of those drawbacks is having to check out, having to pack everything up and having to check out of your hotel every few days. But that will take you maybe an hour out of your morning. But what I would say, the advantage to that, it keeps everything clean and tidy. You stay organised throughout your holiday. In the past, when we've done 14 nights in one hotel, the last couple of nights before coming home, you will spend a good couple of hours, few hours or a whole evening gone just packing. So by moving from hotel to hotel, you're organised and you haven't got that, oh my gosh, I've got all that packing to do. How am I going to fit everything in? You can keep an eye on how much room you've got left in your suitcases. So for that, it is a bonus. And your checkout days, it might take you an hour in the morning to pack up and check out, but then you've got another whole new hotel to go to. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. And whereas you might lose time on your checkout day, think of how much time you're going to save on all your transportation, because not only do you have to pay for the transportation, it's going to take time out of your day as well. So again, I would say Disney is maybe about half an hour away from Universal. So doing those round trips every day is an hour each day you have to do that. Now let's talk transportation. So if you stay in the Universal hotels, there are free buses from the Universal hotels over to the Universal parks. So they go quite frequently, to be fair. So there's like little bus depots, for want of a better word, where you would go and pick up the bus for each park or each hotel that you're staying at. Then with Disney, all the Disney transportation is free as well when you're actually in Disney World. So you can go on the Skyliner, there's free buses, there's free water taxis, and the monorail. How can I forget the monorail? So the few hotels that's on the monorail loop would be the Grand Floridian, the Polynesian, the Contemporary Resort. If you're going to Hollywood Studios, then you catch the buses. The Skyliner is to Hollywood Studios. The water taxis go from some of the hotels over to across the Seven Seas Lagoon. So if you were staying in the boardwalk or the beach club, then I think you can get over the Seven Seas Lagoon over to Hollywood Studios and Epcot. I'm sure we did that on our last holiday. The water taxi also goes to Disney Springs from the French Quarter and from the Old Key West. So that's quite handy as well. It's lovely going on the water taxis. Little boat ride. Who doesn't love a boat ride? Then if you were staying in Flamingo Crossing, you would need to get an Uber over to Walt Disney World. Obviously, Walt Disney World is the closest to Flamingo Crossing. And the cheapest we found is to get an Uber over to Saratoga Springs. So I think Saratoga Springs is obviously the nearest hotel to Flamingo Crossing. And that's why the Uber works out cheaper to go there. So we obviously do split stays because we have the Disney Vacation Club. So you don't need to have the Disney Vacation Club in order to do split stays. You can do your split stays purely just to save on the transportation costs. And there's something that's just a bit exciting about staying in different hotels. I just can't explain it. It's just like, I love it. Some people say, I don't know how you can do that, move from place to place to place. I would want to be settled. I think it's amazing. I think it's so much fun. You've also got the option of staying off-site on International Drive or staying in a villa. We've never actually stayed in a villa, so I can't give you any tips and advice on that. All I can do is just advise you on what we've done and what we find works for us. And if it works for us, I'm sure it'll work for you too. And your different hotel options, you could decide to stay at Flamingo Crossing for a few days. Those hotels are lovely and you have breakfast included every day with that. If you stay at the Disney resorts, then unless you have the Disney dining plan, then there's no food included in that. So it's more like a self-catering holiday. There's obviously all the restaurants and things like that. They're fantastic to go to. But that's why we like to go to Target. And again, going to Target, without your transportation, you need to pay for an Uber to get to Target. If you stay at Flamingo Crossing, it's walking distance from the hotels. Then you can get your goodies from Target there. And then have your breakfast items in the Disney hotels or the Universal hotels where food is maybe not included. One tip I could give you as far as food goes is you can get the ready prepared baguettes like club sandwiches, things like turkey, ham, cheese, all in your baguette or subs, whatever you want to call it. And you have fridges in your rooms so you can store the ready prepared baguette there. Have that for breakfast, have it for lunch, whatever you want to do. So that's something that we found is a good breakfast item. And you tend to have microwaves in the food courts at the hotels. So we've heated ours up in the microwave if we haven't had a microwave in our room as well. So that's pretty good. So that is all I really have to say on the subject, to be honest. I just think it's a game changer. It certainly changed the way we holiday. To me, it just makes perfect sense. It's like, rather than spend your time and money on the transportation, just stay where you want to be going. And it's a fantastic way to holiday now. So instead of having one holiday, have 3. Here are some of the examples of some of the places we've stayed at. If you have found this video useful, then please like and subscribe and help me grow my channel. And if you want some information about the Disney Vacation Club, then check out this video. Thanks for watching.
You know, to me